Cleopatra's father, Auletes, looks to Cleopatra to continue the family line. It is Cleopatra that is serving as his protege. Everything that he's worked for as king, all of it is invested in Cleopatra and making sure that she comes to power in a secure Egypt.
At this point in time, Egypt was filled with natural resources and precious materials. It was known as the breadbasket of the ancient world.
It alone produces more grain than it consumes. It can feed Rome, it can also starve Rome.
The Ptolemies are ruling Egypt from Alexandria in the westernmost part of the country. Economically, it is the center of a great trade network, funneling not only the agricultural product of Egypt, but also luxury products coming from further east. And the coffers of the government are increasing exponentially with all of that mercantile activity. Culturally, Alexandria is the be-all and end-all. The Ptolemies brought scholars, men of letters, physicians. So the city of Alexandria shapes Cleopatra.
Cleopatra learns everything she can get her hands on. Art and science, oratory, mathematics, but far more important is that she knows 9 languages. Those 9 languages include ancient Egyptian, which, believe it or not, none of the Ptolemies had known before.
We don't know exactly what ethnicity Cleopatra had. The Ptolemies were Macedonian Greek, so it's very likely that Cleopatra was mostly Greek. That being said, there are some interesting gaps in the family tree, especially on her mother's side, in which some Egyptians could have intermarried with the family, but we really can't be sure.
In 51 BC, 4 years after taking back his throne, Cleopatra's father dies of natural causes. And at age 18, she becomes Queen of Egypt. But as a woman, she cannot rule alone.
In Auletes' will, he places Cleopatra as co-regent with Theos, her younger brother, who's only 10 years old.
Cleopatra will take Theos as her husband.
Sibling marriage in ancient Egypt goes all the way back to the beginning of time. You have the mythical god Osiris, who marries his sister wife Isis.
Sibling marriage is not something that was ever practiced among Greek Macedonians. So the idea seems to enter the Ptolemaic history because they have pulled it from mythology.
The assumption in this case was that because Cleopatra's co-ruler was so much younger than she was, that Cleopatra would be the dominant partner in that relationship.
Cleopatra sees her brother's young age as a chance to grow her own power. But she's not alone. Theos attracts others looking to elevate their status. His advisor, Pothinus, and sister Arsinoe.
Arsinoe plays this shadowy role. She seems to be a supporter of the faction of Theos, and so throughout the beginning of the reign, Cleopatra has to look at Arsinoe as a potential threat to her throne.
Majesty, please relax with us.
Thank you, Pothinus. And what is the source of your newfound generosity?
Majesty, should we remind your sister what happens to queens who try to upstage their male consorts?
As a student of our history, she should know. The same fate as advisors who mistake the king's power for their own.
Pothinus can be regarded as a kind of a sinister force behind the throne. He has personal ambition, and he tries to position Theos to become the leader by suppressing the power and aspirations of Cleopatra.
There's a tremendous amount of wealth and manpower available to anyone who could take control of Egypt. Cleopatra has already shown inclinations to act on her own behalf. This minimizes the influence of those elite that make up the inner circle of Alexandria.
Cleopatra's drive for autonomy is very risky. Consider that the last 4 Ptolemaic queens who wanted sole rule were killed for it. Cleopatra ended up having people test her food because poison in Ptolemaic court society is used frequently. It was efficient, and also you never really knew the hand behind it.
With Alexandria being this hub of intellectual and scientific discovery and experimentation, poison is a substance that becomes very easy to get and acquire. Given the politics of Alexandria, it also becomes just a way of life.